Hi, and welcome to my home where I get to talk to you about the resilient comeback, the incredible power of resilience. See, life is full of ups and downs, it's full of challenges and setbacks, but how we respond to those obstacles, that's what defines who we are. To overcome a comeback and come out in a mighty way and more determined than before is the goal for life, at least my life. We can allow life to defeat us, or we can come back and rise above it, learn from it, and grow stronger. Again, it's your goal, your choice. But let me ask you this. Have you ever experienced any of these things? Sexual abuse, divorce, and cured a incurable disease, been a single parent? Have you struggled with a severe illness or lost friends or family by death? Have you struggled with infertility, rejection, imposter syndrome, low self-esteem, struggled with relationship sabotage? That's a real thing. Had a financial disaster, court PTSD, emotional or physical abuse, or have you ever had to shut down your business after you put all your finances and all your energy into it? Did you find yourself anywhere in that listing? Well, what if I were to tell you that that was just a portion of what I've had to endure throughout the journey of my life so far? But as you see, I'm here, I'm strong, I'm bold and unstoppable, transformed by what they call adversity. I've turned my setbacks into setup for greatness, proving that every challenge is an opportunity to emerge, as my boy Marvin Sapp says, stronger, wiser, and better. See, life to me is a fight. It's a fight for your life in many ways, but it's okay. Let's put our shoes on and get in the boxing ring. But before we do that, let's get prepared for what I call the resilient comeback. I'm Gloria Caldwell. I'm CEO of Knockout Mentality, and it's a space and place where I am determined to empower individuals to unleash their inner power through a transformative journey of self-discovery and personal goal. There is so much that's inside each individual waiting to be unharnessed and unleashed, and it's right inside of you. And if you understand how important you are, you won't allow your setbacks to keep you from what God puts you here in purpose for and your goals. You'll understand that you're needed, and I'm here to help facilitate the maturation of what your purpose is. Knockout mentality was created based on my love for boxing, ergo the knockout. Boxing is a mental and physical sport. Now, I don't do it for the sparring part. I'm 50 years old. I love it for the workouts. I love the fact that you have to mix your mental and your physical together. And with the two of them together, you can be successful. Boxing beautifully blends various mental, foundational, technical, and physical skills, which, when used together, demonstrates preparation, strength, and resilience. So, to me, living here on earth is what I refer to as living in the ring of life. And in this ring, you've probably been knocked down. And if you haven't, as my grandmother says, live a little while longer, and I'll guarantee that you will. However, don't be discouraged. I'm here to make you aware of some skills to help you get up and stay in the fight. So now let me ask you this. Have you equipped yourself to deal with life's challenges? What have you done to condition and prepare yourself for that? Have you ever thought about the comebacks of the challenges that you've had? These are all questions that you need to ask yourself, but we're going to start all the way at the beginning with the simple question of what is being resilient? Resilience, by definition, is overcoming stress. It's utilizing what you've been through to create strategies to fight through what you will go through, because it's going to happen. Life's going to life. So you've got to prepare yourself. Very Well Mind, which is a site I like, puts it beautifully. They say it gives people psychological strength to cope with stress and hardship. It's the mental reservoir for strength that people need to call on in time. It's your foundation or your preparation. I thought that was beautifully put. resilience as a whole can be developed through a strong sense of self-efficacy, self-trust, and self-esteem. And people may be more resilient than others due to genetics and other factors like social determinants. But while some may have a trait for resilience, it can also be a behavior that can be learned. So don't be discouraged. Let's look at life as a whole. I like to think about the differences in upbringings and comfort levels and training, if you will, as a child. You think back to someone who's had a tough childhood. They came out fighting. They had to fight to survive most of their childhood life, and it's somewhat embedded in them, the kind of fight for your life syndrome or the me against the world syndrome, if you will. Now, that as a whole is not the best, relatively speaking, way of maneuvering through life. There is a balance, but it's needed, okay? It's a start for entrepreneurs in fields like marketing fields where they have to get back up again and deal with tons of no. So for salesmen as salesmen as well, it helps you to keep focus and discipline on continuing in the face of despair, trauma, hardships, and negativity. In a nutshell, it helps you to develop resilience. And it's the hunger for better that you really cannot be taught. It's kind of got to be in you in those situations. And with that upbringing, it's there. Now, this is harder for people who have PTSD, depression, and anxiety. And in these cases, please don't feel you have to be so resilient. There's help, and I recommend you utilize it. Keeping yourself mentally safe is the most important thing. And there are people out here that are made for that, and they care. And I care. But for the others of us, you must understand your fight isn't going to be the same as everybody else's, meaning that resilience is built and it looks different for everybody. People can't tell you how to get over your situation because we all respond differently. However, what we can do is tell you how to position yourself, how to go through, and tips to help you come back. And I can tell you that your knockdowns and your knockouts, and if you take those and you recant how things impacted you and how different you were when you got out of them as opposed to you were when you went in them, you can assess how you respond and what you need to do to position yourself to become more resilient. As I said, it's different for everybody, so don't go into it thinking it's one and the same for everybody. So let's get into preparation, which is trials, tribulations, and circumstances. These are things that can help you build resilience. And since I love boxing so much, I'm going to use boxing analogies to help describe them to you. And I'm going to call them the boxing resilient comeback. Okay. So we'll start with the knockdown. The knockdown in boxing occurs when a fighter hits the canvas or a knee or any other part of their body except the feet touches the canvas. It often leads to the referee starting a countdown or count up to 10 to determine whether or not the fighter can continue. Now, there's a phrase in boxing that I love, and it's called take the 8. And the meaning of the phrase is simple. It's just saying don't get back on your feet until the count of 8. It's a classic phrase used in boxing. Coaches use the reference, and it doesn't start until the referee starts counting. And there have to be 3 conditions for him to stop counting. You have to be down on the floor. The referee has to determine that the knockout is caused by a punch, not just a slip, trip, or fall, or a push. And the opponent has to go back to the neutral corner. And when all 3 of those have happened, that's when the 10 seconds get started. And you get a chance to get yourself together before they call you out. This is when you catch your breath, you reorient yourself before you rise all the way back up. So the theory is to stay on your knees until the 8 count is up, then stand up. Now let's draw a parallel to life and coming back or building resilience using the take 8. Now, some people believe that being resilient is quickly getting up. It's blowing over something or suppressing it and the keep it moving syndrome. They are all for getting up on maybe the count of 2. But I beg to differ. I feel, and studies show, you need to take a moment to process and feel the feelings and then move out and stand up on them. Because think about how many times you've gotten an injury where you thought you were okay, and then you laid down, went to bed, woke up stiff, bruised, and in pain. These are remnants of the count of two that people sweep things under the rug and they just think they can move on and forget it and things will go away. Or you can jump up and act out like it didn't happen without taking a moment to process the injury you received from it. But it will surely come back at some point, and that's not the comeback we're looking for here with the resilient comeback. So let's talk about after the 8. There are methods that you can use to get through the round. That's what we're trying to do to keep you in the fight. You can focus on lateral movements. You can move side to side and keep your head off the line and try to control the engagement for the rest of the round. Because see, we can lose a round, by inactivity, but we don't want to lose the fight. We want to stay in the fight. So for this parallel, it's the processing phase of life. You're still in the fight. You may not be equipped to move forward, but you're preparing to move forward. Say you're thinking through things, you're reframing the challenge in your mind. You're taking a moment out and you're praying, or you're absorbing what you've learned, and you're feeling your emotions and identifying what happened so that doesn't happen again, and especially not in the same way. Now, another method that ticks people off when they see it is the grab method, where they grab and hold, right? They hold the opponent until the referee separates them. So this parallel is like counseling, or leaning on your village for self-care, or waking up in the morning and getting dressed and just maintaining. It's speaking affirmations over yourself. The whole point of it is just to not be counted out. It's to stay in the fight. Never stop fighting. So now let's go from that to talk about knockdowns and knockouts. There are a couple of different type of knockdowns. We'll talk about those first. I'm going to talk about two. You've got the flash, where it happens quickly. A boxer falls but gets back up. He shows a brief loss, he or she, in balance. They're not usually seriously hurt. So in life, it's a fender bender in the car, losing money in a vending machine, tripping, losing your keys, losing a train of thought, customer service ticking you off and being rude and ruffling your feathers, someone saying something negative to you in a joking manner, even if it's a friend. These are things that knock you off your base for a moment, but you can kind of come back quickly and let it go. Then you have the technical knockdown, and that occurs when the referee has to stay in. The boxer may be shaky or unable to defend himself, and the referee is trying to ensure safety. They'll stand in the middle. This can end the match. The parallel in life to that is a car accident, suffering injuries, where you have a failure at work or a personal loss, like having a tough breakup with a girlfriend or a boyfriend, or a friendship ending, or finding out your child is sick. Anything that puts you in a place where you have to take a moment and really process. You've got to ensure you're ready to continue to keep going. So a knockdown doesn't necessarily signify the end of a fight. It's a momentary defeat, and you can definitely come back from that. And then on the opposing side, there are the knockouts. And these are the defensive moments in a fight. This is where you get knocked out. Yeah, the parallel to that is like the loss of a job, the end of a marriage or a long-term relationship, or health crisis that shifts your lifestyle, or moments in life where you feel defeated and possibly question your path. And there are two types of knockouts. There's the KO and the TKO. Now, the KO is a sudden impact. It's a simple punch. It's when life throws you punches such as hidden illnesses or the end of a marriage that you were unaware, where a spouse was upset and they come and hand you divorce papers out of the blue and you're overwhelmed and disoriented. It's something that causes a shock or denial or confusion. And then you have your Teddy Pendergrass, TKO, on the other hand, where a fighter is no longer able to effectively continue. Normally, it's due to cumulative damage. Like, let's parallel that. It would be a gradual challenge, financial difficulty, incurable health issues, chronic stress, mental or emotional or physical abuse in a relationship, or the death of a child, a spouse, or a parent. This is where the referee or fighter's corner, which is like your family, recognizes it's time for you to stop. And in life, it's crucial for you to recognize your own limitations and when you actually need to step back. Um, let's move away from that and get to the good part. We've defined what resilience is. We've compared it to boxing, discussed knockdowns and knockouts. So let's go to how to prep for a silent comeback. Building resilience in the face of setbacks is a crucial thing. It helps you to navigate your life's challenges effectively. So I'm going to give you some strategies to cultivate resilience. Now, you've heard some of them already that I discussed earlier, like developing a positive mindset when I said reframing challenges. You can look at your problem solving skills and enhance them by stoically controlling what you can control. You can embrace change, as my mentor says, pivot. Change is a part of life. You can cultivate emotional awareness, and that is allowing yourself to feel sad, angry, frustrated, upset. You can set realistic goals for yourself and make short-term goals, celebrate small wins, and my favorite, exercise regularly to reduce your stress and ensure that you have adequate sleep and you're letting your body recover. You can reflect on previous setbacks, but don't stay there. And the catch-all to me is continually staying in your personal development range, striving to grow as an individual, recognizing that you need to embrace failure and it's a teacher, getting comfortable failing, and understanding that setbacks are often learning experiences that contribute to resilience. And understand as well that recovery takes time. So be patient with yourself, reflect on the learning and go back through it, but don't stay there. So by integrating these strategies in your life, you can build robust resilience. And that will help you not only cope with setbacks, but come back in the face of adversity. Because over your life's journey, you're going to have knockdowns and knockouts. No one, and I mean nobody, gets away with escaping it. But as I take a look back in self-reflection, I can see how I've grown with my resilience severely. I'm now confident. I know I'm capable. I know I'm valuable. I know I'm purposeful. I know I'm precious. I've moved on from my circumstances and knocked down, and I've noticed that when things arise now, I seem to process them a little more quickly. I've since understood that someone else's bad behavior isn't my fault. I understand how to deal with my illnesses, still be productive and purposeful while I'm managing them, enduring discomfort, and managing my medication. I'm bound for love again. I realize that losses are going to come, death awaits us all, and you won't make it out of life alive. That's a guarantee. I realize that rejection is God's protection, and money will come and go, and experiences will teach you things. Mine taught me leadership skills and entrepreneurial skills. And although they were knockouts and knockdowns, they were also learning experiences that made me stronger. They actually drove me to create knockout mentality and share my story of resilience with faith, focus, and fearlessness and discipline. And this is the comeback that God predestined for me to have, to do, and to be. And you can have the same thing. As a matter of fact, you've already done it. You have survived 100% of the things that you have gone through. Congratulations. You're the definition of resilient comeback. So imagine that. We get to the end and we find out that you're the definition of resilient comeback. So what I want you to do from here is move forward, put on your boxing shoes, lace up, let's go get in that ring, and let's fight for our lives.